This is Scott.
This is Rebecca.
And we're the CEOs of Hardy Party of
5.5. It's not really a company, it just sounds cool.
And if you're looking for a normal family, well, you've certainly come to the wrong place.
So keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times and let's see where this roller coaster takes us.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Rebecca.
What are we doing in your office?
What are we doing in my office?
We're usually in the closet.
I know.
When we do our recording. So
we're
here
exploring our space.
I love that we're exploring our space.
Yeah.
This episode is going to be a little different because if you're listening to us on podcast, then you don't know that this is also a live recording.
I know.
On
crazy.
a Zoom.
I know.
So where are they going to find it?
Well, we're going to post it to our social media pages.
Okay.
And then later on, we'll have a YouTube link to the whole video.
A fancy YouTube link?
I know.
It's going to be so cool. We're doing a Zoom today because one of our goals in podcasting is to really encourage youth. And honestly, we're encouraged by youth a lot. And we have a lot of youth in and out of our house all the time from church and whatnot. And so we just love to see how youth impact the world. A lot of people want to wait until you're older. Young people tend to think that when they're older, they'll do all these things. But we have a guest today who is impacting the world right now. She's a great role model for young people. If our kids were young still, I would be like, get on board with this girl and what she's doing because she is super, super genuine. You're going to love her. Please welcome Gabby Graves to our podcast. All right, Gabby, we would like to welcome you to our podcast, Hardy Party of 5.5. We are so glad you're with us today. We met Gabby from church camp a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
we've already had a podcast. Yes, we've already had a podcast about church camp and costumes and all the fun stuff. But now we actually get to have Gabby on our podcast. So, Gabby, who were your favorite camp leaders?
Well, that's a really hard question. There were some great leaders there, but I think I would have to say you two. Y'all are
okay, good.
I mean, to be fair, that was her first camp with us. So, you know, like she doesn't have any other. She doesn't know any
y'all
better.
Were amazing.
We did have a blast. We were the Crimson Angels. To be honest, took me a while to get that tattoo off. I had to get a scrub brush out.
I know.
Did you have the same problem?
I could not get mine off. Mom stayed like the entire week. Mine came off halfway through the week, and then when I redid it, it would not come off. So
oh my goodness.
I actually went and got a dish scrubber brush to scrub it off. Yeah, it's the only way I got it off. I was like, this is permanent. People kept saying for an entire week, did you get a tattoo? And I'm like, why is that still there?
It looked real. For sure.
I don't know how Sarah got hers off in one day. And it was on her face. I don't know how she got that off.
She must have really
that's
went
right.
at
It was on her face. We need to check in and see how her face is doing.
Yeah.
I know.
I was my tattoo, like I just reached down and slapped it on my leg. So it was partially crooked. And I'm thinking my clients are probably like, you put a crooked tattoo on your leg, woman. Like, if you're going to make something permanent, at least make it straight.
When I started making you worry because I was like, I think that's permanent.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about Gabby. Where are you from? Where are you from?
I am from San Antonio, Texas.
I
am. Yep, I lived there until I was 9, or lived here because now we're back.
You're back.
Yes, ma'am. But we lived in Texas till I was 9, and then moved out to LA for 5, almost 6 years. And then last year, in the midst of all the COVID craziness, we moved back to Texas. So
yeah, and you were telling us that has to do with like being in front of casting directors, but nobody's doing that now, right?
Yes. When I lived there, it was better because there was a advantage of going in the room and getting to meet casting directors face to face and get that personal touch. But now that's not happening anymore. Everything is self-tapes or Zoom calls. So
wow.
Yep.
Do you not like that? Would you rather be in front of people?
I would rather be in front of people. I miss it so much because you get that one-on-one, you get that personal touch, you get to know the casting directors, and it's just, there's a different energy about it, for sure.
Yeah, you do. You have a great energy in person too, like just very bubbly. I can see how that would be a huge advantage to be in front of people because it's not just like, here's the recorded portion of me being awesome. It's like, I actually am a really kind of likable person, even when you say cut and I'm just standing next to you, like you still want to be around.
Right.
So yeah, I can see that. I can see you being.
Are there any signs that that's changing, or is it still kind of the same with the
virtual?
It's still kind of the same for virtual, but they are like there's new platforms for
Yeah.
casting, like a specific like acting Zoom call for casting directors and actors.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is, yeah, that's coming out soon, and that's something new that's supposed to help and make it less not stale, but it kind of feels stale because you just get a recorded version, like what you said, and you don't get the one-on-one personality. And also, like when you go in for an audition, you want to be given redirection and given like tweaks on your scene and your
Mhm.
performance, and you don't get that anymore because you are sending a couple or like one take of what you've done and there's no feedback or anything.
Mm.
So that hopefully that will be changing for like the new Zoom version where we do get to have a little bit more interaction and
Yeah.
get some redirection and stuff. So
Okay, well, it's been a long time since we watched anything on the Disney Channel. You got to take it back
yeah.
because our kids are a little older. So we were more like Good Luck Charlie, you know,
Zeke
kind
and
of.
Luther.
Oh, we love
Yeah.
Zeke and Luther. I love the Backyardigans when my kids were little. I don't even know if that's Disney, but anyways. So
Mhm.
when did you realize we had to pull up? We like pulled up on the Disney Channel, like, who is this girl? And then we started watching and we're like, we loved it. It's so back to like sweet and innocent. You know,
Yeah.
we were like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
It felt-
every adult should be watching
Yeah.
the Disney Channel because it's just so like, it's so Disney, you know?
And
It is.
like not
It's so much
stressful.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
not stressful. So when did you realize you wanted to be a performer?
Well, I have been entertaining since I was very little. I was basically born onto the stage. I grew up performing and singing with my family. Um, I've always wanted to make people laugh and get people's attention and try and entertain people in any way that I could.
Uh-huh.
So I've been writing songs in the back of our truck. When I was little, I wrote a song about Bucky Beaver and how he was my best beaver friend.
Bucky
So,
Beaver.
yep,
Okay,
Bucky
Rebecca
Beaver.
has a Bucky
That
Beaver
is so
character.
weird, Gabby, because when I was little, like, how did that come about?
I thought it was you and a friend started this.
We
The
started this whole weird
Yeah.
Bucky Beaver thing, and then you drew it, didn't
Yeah, I
you?
think so.
He ended up drawing
Oh my
me a
gosh.
picture of Bucky Beaver, which we totally made up the name. Where did you get that name from?
From Bucky's. I took
Oh,
From
she's doing Bucky's.
Okay, this
Oh,
was well
this is a
before
total-
Bucky's was a thing.
Yeah,
And
this is
it
before
wasn't
Bucky's.
like this was before that was
Oh,
even
yeah.
around. And we used to do this impression of Bucky Beaver, and then you drew
Maybe
the
we should
fucking-
sue Bucky's for using our name.
We should, yeah. That's
Okay.
right. We sue Bucky's.
That's a totally
But
different
maybe
thing.
Gabby just gave a voice to your character that
Oh,
you
there
drew.
you go. We
Yes,
used to do the
please.
voice.
I love
Yeah.
that.
But
That's
she's so
funny.
much cuter than me. Okay, so how did your parents react to like all this? Well, they're kind of in that world, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we have a band. And so I've grown up on the road singing, performing with them. And they were very supportive actually. They put me in creative movement classes, so like little dance and kind of mini acting stuff when I was little. I was in a couple shows with like a community youth theater and they were super
Mhm.
supportive of that. And then when I turned 8, they actually signed me up for a training program in Dallas. And once I went through that, we went out to LA for a couple months and we picked up our entire life and moved out to LA. So
Wow.
they
Wow.
dropped everything for me to go
Yeah.
pursue this crazy dream that I had. So
That's
they're
crazy.
extremely supportive of me.
That's super cool. Like I can write a
Mhm.
spoof song or jot some music down in the back seat of a car like that, but nobody's ever taken me to LA. So that's super.
We need to drop
Hey!
everything down.
Drop everything now.
Yeah.
Alex is gonna
Head
live home
out.
alone. We're out of here.
So what was like what was the first thing you got, like the first job you got as a kid?
My
Do you remember?
first-
Not that you
I
aren't a
do.
kid now, but
No, yeah. My first official job, a network thing, was Marvel's Agent Carter.
oh wow.
But even before that, there was a YouTube thing that I was on where I was an interviewer and I did kid advice. And
Uh-huh.
so it was called Fred TV and it was me and another boy and we would give advice to people on the street and it was so much fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
To
but
adults
then
or kids?
to adults.
So
Yep,
kid
we were
advice
sitting on the
adults.
promenade. We were
Okay.
sitting on 3rd Street Promenade down in Santa Monica, and it looked like a lemonade stand, and people would come up and ask us for advice.
That is spectacular, and probably everybody could use some kid advice. People are a little too uptight.
Yeah.
we gave some interesting advice. I remember that for sure.
How old
But it
were
was-
you?
I was 9. I was
Oh,
9 years
okay.
old.
Yes.
We had some interesting things that we said. I remember that, but it was really fun.
What was something interesting you said? Do you remember anything?
I remember someone asked, like, their kid's pet had died and they couldn't remember, they didn't know if they should just try and replace it or if they should tell the kid. And we both said different things. I said that they should tell the kid and then buy them whatever pet that they wanted.
Mhm.
And he said that they should just replace it, but make it like super obvious so then the kid would realize that and feel like their kid or their pet had mysteriously changed somehow.
Oh gosh.
Like a
Wow.
superpower.
That's complicated.
It's
Wow.
very odd.
That
Yeah.
is very odd.
Mhm.
I think I like your answer the best, Gabby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're on is it a pretty big set you were on for Agent Carter?
For Agent Carter, we actually were not on a soundstage. That
Uh-huh.
was my first experience was being on location.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was a house that they were filming at, and
Oh, okay.
we went to this big parking lot, and they had something called base camp where they have like food and hair and makeup and all of the crew, like all of the cameras and stuff. That's where they're basically waiting all the cast and crew to go over to set.
Yeah.
And then we go over to this big house and there's a little room upstairs that I'm doing school with my fake brother. And then when it's time, we go down and they have cameras and they dab a bit of dirt on my head because I'm supposed to like be rolling around in the dirt and stuff. And then I get to gallop across the yard on a stick horse and like have a wooden sword and everything. And something, I mean, y'all know Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has,
I watched
she has a
both
British accent.
seasons.
Yeah.
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 Well, she has a British accent. And so for me, my first network show, I got to use my British accent, which was so much fun. I do a British accent all the time. It's
Yeah,
so
we
much
heard
fun
that
to
at
do.
camp a little bit. So
Yes, yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
That's awesome.
I might have to watch Agent Carter.
Well, I was
again.
gonna ask, do you know like what episode that is about off the top of your head?
Yes. It is season 2, episode 4, Smoke and Mirrors. I have
Okay.
this memorized.
We have
We've
to
got to
go back
watch it
and
again
watch
now
that,
that
'cause
we know
watched,
we know who you are now.
yeah, we watched
Yeah.
one of those. That's
It's just, I think it's like the
fantastic.
first 30 seconds or something, but it
Oh,
was
that's cool.
That's so
so
cool.
much fun to do.
We got to go back
That's
and
awesome.
hear Gabby's British accent.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that'll
Side note at church camp, we have to do skits, and we did a skit, and so of course our skit.
This is probably her favorite job she's ever done. Is our skit.
Our skit.
Yeah.
That was so much
Alex
fun.
was like, our son Alex was like, you won skit, but you had a Disney performer on your, and I said, and she did everything that everybody else
Right.
did exactly. Like we did
and
not.
we didn't speak.
Yeah.
Right.
No
We didn't even talk or
speaking.
anything.
So you just, I guess you light up a room even when you're not speaking. Didn't even have to pull out the
Thank you.
British accent for camp skit.
Oh yeah.
So take us through like a typical in-person audition. Like, how do you prepare? Do they give you like what you're supposed to say beforehand? Like, tell us about
Right.
that.
Yes. So for an audition, well, really it's a win if you even get an audition because for agents and even people self-submitting, probably casting directors probably have about 1,000 people submitted for each role. And so when you get an audition, that means that they have gone through and just looked at your picture and said, oh, okay, I think this person, they look like they could be right for the role. So really, first thing is looks. But once they go through, there will probably be about 300 people that actually get an audition or so. I don't even,
Oh, wow.
it
That's
really
a
depends.
lot.
Yes. So, but getting an audition is definitely a win. And so when you get the audition, you are sent the breakdown of the character. So basically kind of a little bit about their background and their personality. And then they also send you a portion of the script called the sides, which is sometimes it's just one scene and sometimes it can be up to 5 scenes or more. But they just show different emotions for your character and allow you to really get to know your character better and display different aspects of him or her depending on whoever is playing them.
Mhm.
But then the work starts for you. So for me, when I get a script, I take it and I read through it a couple times and I highlight my lines. And as I'm memorizing it, I go through my intentions and objectives. So I think, what does my character want through this whole scene? What are they trying to get from this other person? What do they want or need? And then I write down like what I'm doing for each line, what I'm trying to get a reaction out of, or what I'm doing. But then after I work on my lines, sometimes I'll work on it with a coach or I will work on it with my mom. It really just depends on how I'm feeling about the audition. And then when it was in person, you would get to go to a building and sign in, and you're sitting in a waiting room of a whole bunch of other people. Some of them look like you, some of them don't. But one of the things that I had to learn, my manager was very strong about this. She was like, when you go, bring a book or earbuds or music or something, but do not pay attention to the other people around you, because it
Oh,
can
yeah.
be so easy to be intimidated. Because when you're sitting there, you'll be looking around a room and you're like, oh, they look like the character. Oh man, they look really prepared. Oh, why are they dressed like that? And
Yeah,
you can
you
get in
start
your head.
comparing yourself. Yeah.
Mm,
Yes, you can get in your head very easily. So it is very important to remember
That's good
not to
advice.
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll
That's good advice.
sometimes, like, I will create a playlist for the character, and when I'm sitting there, I'll be listening to my music, just staying in my own mind, getting into this character's head.
Mhm.
But then you'll go in, there will be a casting director. Sometimes they'll have their assistant or associate there, but there is most always a camera set up for them to tape the audition and send it on to the directors and producers and network people. But then when you actually do the audition, you will slate depending what they want, usually like name, age, height, really just depends on the casting office. But then you'll read the scene with them, and what you really want is for them to say, "Okay, good job. Now can you try it this way?" You want
Okay.
redirection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
It
Because
shows
that
they're
means,
interested at that point.
yes, exactly. It
Yeah.
shows that they're interested and they want to see how well can you take my direction. So it's sometimes I will get through an audition and there won't be any redirection, but I can, like, I'll still get a call back or something. So that means okay, they liked what I did.
Mhm.
But I love getting redirection because it's so much fun to see their take on it, or the little tiny tweaks that they want me to do, or sometimes completely flipping the character on its head and doing something completely different.
Hmm.
But after the audition, my mom and I have a rule where when I come out, I say hello, we walk out of the office, off the lot, wherever it is, get in the car, and once we're driving away, only then will I tell her about the audition. Because you never know who's watching or listening, and you don't want
Oh,
to say
yeah.
anything bad or good, because I mean, I have had people in the past, I'm sitting in a waiting room and someone comes out and they're like talking to their mom really loudly about how well it went. And it's easier if you are just go out and you can contain your excitement. And then mom and I, when we get in the car, sometimes if it went really well, we'll be screaming and be so excited. And if it didn't, I will tell her about it and we'll be okay, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
But it really depends for each audition how it goes. Sometimes there will be more people or less people in the room, but it is most always taped. There's only been a couple times that it hasn't been.
Hmm.
But then for a virtual audition, that's really different, and
Yeah.
it's very odd. So I have a gray wall in my bedroom, and that's
Yeah.
where we usually do self tapes. So my mom and I will set up the camera. I've already worked on the script and everything like I usually would, but then my mom and I have to tape it together. So we set up the camera. She is my reader and director, and so we go over the scenes and tape it as many times as we need to feel like we actually get what we really wanted and what we wanted in the scene. And so that can take a while sometimes, depending on how heavy the scene is or just what it is. But it's fun, but you don't get that one-on-one interaction with those
Yeah.
casting directors. Like what we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier, you don't get to learn about them and meet them. And like
Mhm.
some of the casting directors, I have a bond with them. They're my friends.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love getting to go in and see them, and
Yeah.
it's familiar. But now, like some of these casting directors, I've auditioned for them. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they sound like. I've never met them before in my life. So
Yeah.
it's very different, but I still love auditioning. It's always
Yeah.
fun.
I guess the bonus though is that you get to redo it until
Yeah.
it's how you want it, instead of walking in and
Yes.
being like, I really messed that up.
Mhm.
But like you said, you don't get that automatic feedback. I was actually watching a Mark Hamill video this morning, and he was talking about when he does his voiceover stuff, and he went in for some character. I can't remember who it was with the voiceover guys, and he had all these great ideas that he showed them, and then they're like, "Well, we really don't like that New York accent. Take that New York accent out." And he's got it was a heavy set character, so he'd given him a lisp or something, and they were like, "Take the lisp out, and do this. They pretty much taken everything out that he brought with him.
Mhm.
But like you
Yeah.
say, they still wanted to work with him, so they kind of rebuilt the character from there.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
it's to take that direction and not take it as rejection. It's showing that they're interested in you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Because if they just go, okay, thank you, then you know you're kind of, it didn't work out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
All
good
right.
word. Yeah.
So what shows have you actually been on? Like, or I know you do a lot of voice too, so give us all the deets.
Yes. So, like I said, my first network TV show was Marvel's Agent Carter. And then after that, I booked my first voiceover job, and I played a purple woolly mammoth, and it was so much fun. And actually, the two other boys that I worked with on that have gone on to do great things. And one of them, the other main character, was Isaac Ryan Brown, who plays Booker in Raven's Home. He is Raven's son, and
Uh-huh.
his career has taken off. And I've actually wow, I can't speak, worked with him on another animated show called Costume Quest, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we worked together on a couple different things, but that was my first voiceover, and it was so much fun. But that really introduced me to the whole world of voiceover, and I went
Wow.
on to do a couple episodes of the Disney Junior animated show Sophia the First. I got to play a couple different characters. One of them, I was a fairy named Flurry. I was a little snow fairy. And then the other one, I was British again, and I got to play the sorcerer Cedric. I played a young version of his sister in a flashback. But
That's so cool.
I love those.
How do you
Again.
how do you do voiceover auditions? Is it basically the same? They want to see you in person, or like
No,
how?
actually that's a very good question. No, you usually don't do on camera stuff. Every once in a while there will be a weird one where they're like, "Hey, will you tape yourself while you're reading these?" Just to like see what you do with the character.
Mhm.
But usually we have a little recording studio in our closet actually. And I
Same.
will go in there. Yeah. I will go in there, and I have the character voice in my head. I worked on the script like I usually would for a normal audition. And my dad is my engineer, and he records it for me, and then we will send it on to the agent, and I'll do a couple takes like a self-tape, getting the voice just how I want it, and then getting the lines
Yeah.
correct.
That's so cool.
But yeah, it's so much fun. Voiceover is great because you get to create all different voices, and you can be anything really. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
That's so neat. Okay,
yeah.
so I kind of interrupted like what other shows you'd been on, but I wanted to hear about the voiceover process. So what else have you been on?
There is why did I just lose my entire train of thought? That there was a Fox show called The Orville, where I got to play an alien. I was only in one episode, but I got full facial prosthetics, black contacts.
How
I
fun.
was an alien. It was incredible. It took about 2 hours to put on and take off the prosthetics every day.
Oh my
How cool is that?
goodness. That is crazy.
It was a long time, but it was so much fun and such a unique experience. I
Oh,
loved
yeah.
it.
A lot like church camp with the costumes, putting on and off
Yeah.
2 hours to put them on, 2 hours to take them off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
tattoos last forever. We know how it goes.
Yes, of course. But then I was also on another ABC show with Zach Braff, which it only ran for 10 episodes, but I was a recurring role. It was called Alex Inc.
We totally
and
watched
I
that.
got to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
You did?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
I was Zach's character, his son's girlfriend / crush person.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I got to play the piano. I got to sing a love song.
Aw.
It was it was such an adorable show. I loved it.
That's so cool.
Just the cast and crew, so much fun to be on, and
Uh-huh.
the experience was great. I'm sad it only ran for 10 episodes, but it was a great experience, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And let's see. Oh, Costume Quest. There is an Amazon animated show that I am on called Costume Quest, based off of the video game. And it's about these 4 kids who find out that their Halloween costumes have magical powers if they use their imagination. And they have to fight off these monsters who are invading their town. And so I am one of the 4 main kids, My name is Ren, and I am the loudmouth, bossy leader of the group, which is not too far off from what I actually am.
That's an easy one then.
Kid shows
Yeah.
are so much more fun than adult shows. We need to watch
Yeah.
all these kid shows.
They're so much fun. Yeah, but the funny thing, I worked with Isaac Ryan Brown on this one as well, and the funny thing was we realized all of the kids, like the four of us, we looked and acted like our characters on the show. We were like, did they typecast us? Did they know who we are before we did this?
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but
so interesting.
yeah, I love that. It ran for 2 seasons, and it was a blast. I loved
Yeah.
those characters. hmm
So
And then some of my latest stuff,
Yeah.
I was on Coop and Cammy, the Disney show, Coop and Cammy Ask the World. I
or
played
Scott likes to
Delaware,
call it
Cammy-
Cammy and Coop.
Yeah,
because
I
he does.
totally messed it up. Yeah.
No, it's a long name and it's a fun one, but no worries.
And you
I
played
played
Delaware.
Yes, Delaware is Cammy's best friend. I'm kind of the Phoebe Buffet character of the show, this goofy, ditzy, adorable goofball.
Yes.
Um,
The episode we watched of that was the one where you were on a dance team of 7 and the one girl
They were
was
trying to
getting-
cut you.
Yeah, they were trying to cut you, but
Yes.
the leader got cut. So I thought it was adorable because I like all things
Mhm.
dance too. And I thought it was so cute. But we could see then like you're kicking your shoes off and stuff. It was funny.
That was great. I think, was that the one that we had to dance badly in?
Oh yeah, you were.
Yes,
Yeah, you were
yes.
pretending to dance badly.
Yeah.
That we had some funny notes on that one. We had to like get choreography to dance badly, and then we got notes from the producers like, can they make the bad dancing like look better? Like we want it to look clean, but at the same time, no. We want it
That's
to look like
hilarious.
even worse. Like, can you go a step further, make
Yeah.
the bad dancing look better? And so it was really fun.
It was
Well,
weird to be asked to
yes.
dance bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was taking my own casting notes too because I was like, don't put her in a skit where there's dancing at church camp because that's
Well,
what's
you
gonna
could tell they were doing it on purpose. So.
I'm just kidding, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, no dancing for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that character, I absolutely loved her because I got to dance well and badly. I got to work with an
Yeah.
incredible choreographer, Chris Judd. And then I also, in my very first episode, I got to jump into a dumpster and get covered with food. And
Oh,
I got
nice.
to get painted silver and dress up like a robot, which was
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
That's
It was
so
so
fun.
fun.
What a fun childhood you have.
It's incredible. I've done so many incredible things.
That's so cool.
My latest show that has just released is called The Chicken Squad, and I play this big chubby chicken named Sweetie, and I have 2 siblings, Coop and Little Boo, and we are learning how to be community service helpers from a retired search and rescue dog. And we help the other critters in the chicken yard, and we solve all these mysteries, and it's just a great episode.
so
We get
cute.
to sing every episode, and there's a lesson, and it's so much fun.
I love that. I watched a little bit of that
I haven't
one.
seen that one yet.
Yes,
I'll have
I'm
to check
ahead.
that
I'm
out.
ahead of you.
You are.
I'm a bigger fan.
You
but
are.
it's fine.
Aw, thanks.
I got work to do.
You got a lot of catching up
Yeah.
to do. haven't you?
I'll do research after we're done.
Right. Yes. So what are your favorite parts about performing? Like, is it so much work leading up to it? Or are you really just like when you're actually in there, like on stage, on the in the cameras, like all the other stuff too? Like, what do you love?
I love like the audition process and everything. I think that's fun, but some of my favorite things for me, like doing live action stuff, I love being on set. There is
Yeah.
a certain energy about it. Like there's an excitement in the air that you can feel everywhere, and it is so much fun to be a part of that. And I'm a huge people person, so I love getting to make new friends and like the cast and crew. Just I love getting to meet new people. It's so much
Mhm.
fun. But then also, like what we were talking about kind of with Delaware getting to dress up as a silver robot, I love the costumes because the
Yeah.
costumes you really get to learn about the character's personality. And I've gotten to wear some fun stuff. Like in Agent
Yeah.
Carter, it was a bit of a period piece. So then I was wearing like older clothes, and it was
Yeah.
so much
I mean,
fun.
who doesn't
So-
want to play dress up?
I know. I've always loved dressing up, and I still to this day love dressing up. Like at camp, the costumes. I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Mom can vouch for this. Every once in a while, I will just be walking around the house with a wand and a crown and my cloak, and just walking around the house, unloading the
Yeah.
dishwasher. Why not?
Why not?
Oh goodness,
Absolutely. I love it.
that's awesome.
So take it like away from work for a second. You're
Yeah.
still a teenager. So how do you balance that? I know somebody talked you into going to church camp this year, so that was kind of fun. Probably a good brain break for you to be just one of the crowd. But how do you really balance that life of being just a typical teenager?
Yeah. Well, I love books, as you can probably tell from the huge bookshelf behind me. But I'm a huge reader, and books and music it's a way for me to escape. And so I love getting to slip into my own little world and take a break from everything and get to, like, I say that all these different characters, they're my friends, and so I love going on adventures with them, and that's one way that I like to escape. But then I also love being creative and artsy, and I'll come into my room, I'll do art, or I will journal, and then I have great friends who I text and FaceTime all the time. When I was in LA, we would like get to see each other, but
Yeah.
since I have moved back, we have still kept in touch, and now friends from camp, we have actually been FaceTiming all the time.
Oh,
And
that's
have
cool.
you?
That's awesome.
yes,
Very
we have
cool.
our own little camp family.
Oh, I love
Um,
that. That's so
yeah,
great.
but it's a great it's a great way for me to stay connected and just be a normal teenager. And not all of my friends are from acting. I have a good balance where some are from acting, but still a lot of them are just our normal kids. So that is also helpful, because then I don't have to be talking about the industry or acting. It doesn't feel like a competition about roles or anything. We just get to be normal teenagers hanging out,
Right.
laughing about a show or something. And it's so much fun. So
Yeah.
definitely those are a couple of the ways that I feel like it helps me to stay more of a normal teenager and not get caught up in the craziness or the stress of the
Right.
acting industry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it probably helps to have such supportive parents who are kind of entertainers themselves, so they kind of know
Yes.
they can help you kind of navigate that too. So
Mhm.
that's
And
very
we
cool.
we'll take time as a family, like in the evenings, on weekends or something. We'll just sit down as a family, and our favorite show right now is Psych. And so we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
watching that together. So we all just take a little time just to hang out and relax together and be a family. And then we'll also go do stuff like I'm learning to skateboard, or Dad and I will go on a bike ride together, or we'll all go to the pool. Just something fun where we get to hang out as a family.
Yeah. Our middle son's favorite
Oh,
show
gosh.
is Psych. He
Yeah.
loves it. In fact, we like decorate. He wore a pineapple jacket to prom. Was it prom?
I think
I love that.
It was
so much.
homecoming. Yes, and we, like, when he went to college, we like put a pineapple in his dorm, and so he's always trying to find the hidden there's hidden pineapple in all those episodes, I guess.
Mhm.
And so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
always trying to find the pineapple. We had pineapple bed sheets and all kinds of. His favorite show was Psych. He knows them by heart.
Okay, my favorite episode. You know
I love that.
Clisby? Have you gotten to Clisby yet?
I don't think
No.
I have.
Okay,
No.
Okay, it's hilarious. It's a hilarious episode. It's kind of like a Clue game. Like they go to this big house and there's a murder, and
Yeah,
but when you get to that one, it's pretty funny.
we'll
I
have a
love that
conversation
show.
about it. But
Yeah.
the kids kind of use that
Awesome.
line all the time.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
that's a favorite show at our house. And
Oh, yeah.
with Jake, you can be like,
Mhm.
episode 10, season 3, and he'll be like, oh yeah, the one about,
Yeah,
he
he's got
knows
it totally memorized.
all of them.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah,
He
at-
loves it.
At camp, there were actually a couple kids who I made some reference about Magic Head, and then like 3 heads just snapped my direction. They're like, "Oh, that's Psych." And so we be a Psych fan club, and we would be talking about Psych the entire time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
it's a
great.
great show.
Yeah.
We love it.
So fun.
So who are some of your heroes? Like, do you have anybody that you just follow and love? Who do you fangirl over?
For like who I love in the acting world, or like
Oh, all of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, give me both.
Well,
Give me acting
a
world and
couple-
give me non-acting world.
Awesome. Well, a couple of my role models, or people that I love to watch in the acting world and that I really want to work with. Well, first off, Emma Watson. I'm a huge
Oh,
Harry
yeah.
Potter fan. I
Yes.
love her, and she played Belle in Beauty and the Beast. She's a great actress, and she's someone that I would love to work with someday.
Mhm.
And Jennifer Garner, she has had an
Yeah.
amazing career.
She has.
And she's an awesome actress. We've also been watching Alias, And so I would love to do something like that. But I would say my role models for acting are probably Emma Watson, Jennifer Garner, and Meryl Streep, because she has done so many things over her lifetime, and the way that
Yeah,
she changes from one character to another, she morphs and is like
she does.
fully embodying this character, and that's what I want to learn to do.
Yes.
So yeah, those are a couple of the people that I try to model myself after in acting,
Hmm.
and someone that I would love to work with. And then a couple people that I look up to in life. I love what they do. I love their personalities and just what they're doing in life. Is one of them, she's actually another actress, is Bailey Madison. She is this sweet, happy, Christian girl, actually, and she was in the movie A Week Away that
Oh yeah.
that camp this
Uh-huh.
past week,
Oh
was
yeah.
modeled
Yes.
after.
Yes.
But she's so sweet and positive, and just she's such a good role model for girls. She's
Yeah.
amazing. But then I also there's a guy who I follow, and he's written multiple books, and he is just his life is incredible, and his name is Bob Goff. I don't know if
Oh
y'all
yeah.
have
Oh
heard of
yeah.
him, yeah, or read any
Yeah.
of his books, but he is great. He is so happy and kind and positive, and just a great role model of what it means to be kind and just share the love of Jesus
Yeah.
in everything that he does. And
Yeah.
I strive to be more like that in my
Yeah.
daily life. And
Yes.
then also my last role model, she doesn't know that I'm gonna say this, but my mom is definitely one of my role models. She has this light about her and this kindness, and she's
Mhm.
also so generous, and she's always looking out for other people, and she is a great role model for me and someone that I try to model myself after. So
Yeah, that's so cool. I can see that. Almost figured she was going to be on the list. I've only met her a time or
yeah,
two, but you guys seem to be pretty tight.
yes, we are.
That's really cool. So, speaking of your parents, tell us about I Am Courageous.
Yes. So when I was little, I had two friends that were both diagnosed with cancer when I was 5 years old. And they had a verse that was kind of their motto, or their yeah, it was their motto. And it was Joshua 1:9, which says, "Be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you always." And our family had written a song about this called Strong and Courageous,
Mhm.
and they kind of adopted this song as their anthem. And we we created a nonprofit organization because we realized that music is so influential, and it can really change a person's mood. And sadly, both of them have passed away, but they really helped us become inspired to do this and
Mhm.
to create this organization. And we what we try to do is we have created and continue to create uplifting, encouraging music for kids with life-threatening diseases.
Mm.
Because when you're sitting in a hospital room and you're alone, sometimes like you had just gone through chemo or you're going to, and music can be so influential, because when you can just listen to something and
Mhm.
it can just calm you down or put a smile on your face, and it really helps change your mood. And so that's what we know, that this is very important, and so we are trying to get more music out there and get our playlist. It's a free playlist. We're trying to get it into the hands of as many kids as we can. And so we have keychains that we donate to hospitals, but we also try to get it into the hands of other organizations, and we try to spread it as much as we can. So we
Mm.
partner with hospitals and other organizations to distribute these keychains. I can't
Yeah.
these keychains into the hands of these families and kids, these fighters, to get it into their hands to
Mhm.
get this music to them. So
Is the music like modern songs that you guys have redone, or
yes.
it's not okay?
We do cover songs. Some of them are older. We have a variety of different genres and eras, and we try to make it fun, but we also make it sensory sensitive,
Mm.
because like some of the songs can be super driving and super peppy, but we
Mhm.
also keep it mellow enough that when you're sitting in a hospital, you don't want something super crazy. So it keeps
Yeah.
it nice
Yeah,
and mellow, and but still fun, and gives that little pep and
I
excitement.
love that.
So
Yes.
That's so cool.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
And you guys
That's
are
really
working on putting some other things together with that, I know. So that is super,
Yes.
super cool. I love that.
Mhm.
Where do you guys record? Do you guys record in your
in our
in
closet.
your closet? Yeah.
We go
That's
in the
awesome.
closet. Whose turn is it to sing? Mom, go in the closet.
Do all of you play
Rotate
instruments?
Yes. My dad plays guitar, piano, drums, sings. He plays everything basically.
Yeah.
But then I play guitar, piano, ukulele, and I sing. And my mom plays bass and she sings. So
Oh,
we
wow.
have
Oh, wow.
a plethora of instruments.
That's so exciting. You guys are your own little band.
Yeah. And I've watched some of your YouTube, the songs you've done with your dad and stuff. So
Oh, you
that's
have?
pretty cool. Yeah.
Huh.
See, I got you
don't
there.
hold me on
Yeah.
that. You're trying to take biggest band status. I see what you're doing.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah. So what are like, do you have like you talked about journaling? When you're journaling, do you think about short-term goals and long-term goals? And what are some of your goals that you have in mind?
Well, for just life, for like my personal life,
Yeah.
some of my short-term goals are to get my driver's license because that's
Oh, wow,
next
yeah.
year. Yep, that's crazy. I
You
have
just
my
got your permit, right? Did you just get your
I did.
permit? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw that.
In February, I got my permit, and I've been driving more, so that's been super fun. But some of my short-term goals are get my driver's license and graduate from high school. And then I know I kind of talked to you about this, Rebecca, when we were talking about future stuff in the cabin. But my crazy dream for the future is I want to go to college, but I don't just want to go anywhere. I want to go to London to go to college. there is a school that I found there that I absolutely love.
You can use that
And
British accent while you're there.
yes, that is. I say that my heart is split in three. One of it, or a part of it, is in Texas, part of it is LA, and a part of it is in London. I love everything there. I love the people. I love the tea. I love the accents. It's just
Harry Potter.
yes, of course, Harry Potter, Narnia, everything.
Everything.
Yes. So I want to go to Richmond American University in London, and I want to major in business and minor in theater because the theater program gets to work with the Shakespeare's Globe, which would be incredible.
Yeah.
So those are some of my longer term dreams.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
Mhm.
You got some big
and then,
things going.
Yes. And then for my career wise, I know that, I mean, I'm only 15, but today, if you ask me, which you are, what I want to do for my life, I'm going to say I want to continue acting for the rest of my life. That is something that I love and really want to continue doing. And I haven't done either one of these things yet, but I would love to be in a feature film that it just looks incredible, and I would love to be a part of one. And then I would also want to be a lead or a series regular on a TV show. That is, I've always been recurring roles or guest stars. So I really want to see what it would be like to be a lead role. Because when I'm there as a recurring role, usually there's like, we'll say 9 months of filming, and I might be there for 5 weeks, like just randomly dotted around. So I'm excited because I want to be like really a part of a family sometime, which would be really cool. So
yeah, that's super cool.
Awesome.
So what advice would you give like another young person who has the same dreams as you? I mean, you hear that a lot. Young people, like they want to do what you're doing. And so what do you tell them?
Yeah. Well, I would say first off, amazing. That is so much fun. Acting is a great career. It is crazy and it can be difficult, but it is so much fun. So I would say first off, start taking classes. Classes and learning, you will never stop learning. Like even the best of the best are still learning and taking classes. There's always something more that you can learn. And it's so much fun because for me, I've had multiple different coaches and teachers in my career, and I have learned different things from each of them, and every little thing has helped me build and get better, and every little thing that I've taken, it's made me the actor, the person that I am today. And so there's always something that you can learn and that you can take from. And also getting involved. If you're a teenager and you want to be an actor, well, you're probably thinking, how can I like get on Disney right now? You don't need to do that yet. The first little steps that you can take are getting involved in your community. If there's a community youth theater or something, just getting involved. If there's a drama club at school, getting plugged in and involved there and getting to take classes and learn and
Mhm.
getting to practice your craft, getting to have fun and work with other actors and just get to be a part of that community is so important. And it's really a great way to get some more experience and learn more stuff. Um, Also, I would say setting goals. That's a very important thing that you will do for the rest of your life, where you'll see, okay, take a look at where you are and then see, oh, okay, here's what I want to do. I'm going to make a goal to be here in 5 months. I want to be at this point, or I want to have gotten this role in the show at school. And you work towards that goal. You work little by little by little. If it is getting a part in the play, it's auditioning. And sometimes you'll reach your goal and that'll be great. And then you say, awesome, I achieved my goal. Now what else can I do? And set a new goal. Sometimes you won't reach your goal. I've had experience with both of them. You won't reach your goal and you'll be like, okay, so that didn't turn out how I wanted it to be. Now you take a step back, you look at everything, you look at how far you've come because you've learned things on the way. And then you take a deep breath, you set a new goal, and then you work towards that one.
Yeah.
And so it really just, there's an off and on. Sometimes you'll reach a goal, sometimes you won't, but you will always be learning new things and setting new goals as you continue going. Yeah, those are some very important things. Also, having someone that supports you or multiple people that supports you. For me, my parents are my support team, and also my agent and manager, and I have a very good team of people who are there to support me and help me along the way. But it can even just be one person. It can be your best friend who supports you, your parent, your teacher, just someone who is on the sidelines cheering you on, because that is a very important thing to have. You can't do it without the support of other people.
Yes.
That's very important to remember. You can't do it on your own.
Those are, go ahead.
Yeah.
Those
But
are
also
great. Go ahead. No, you
You
go.
first. The last thing that I would say, and probably the most important thing, is something that I have to remember always. Something that when I first started acting, my parents and I made a deal that I would do this as long as it's fun, because it is work, but as soon as it starts feeling like this is work and this is something that I have to do,
Yeah.
I'm out. That you don't want that. So I would say continue to have fun. As long as it's fun, do it. You want whatever you're going for to be fun. You want to enjoy it. You don't want it to feel like, oh, another day I have to go to another rehearsal or whatever. You want it to be fun and exciting and to fill you with joy. So that is my other thing. Do it as long as it's fun. As soon as it's not fun, you can stop. You don't want it to do it anymore.
This is great for no matter what age you are or what you're doing.
Or whatever
like
job you
set
have.
goals, have a cheerleader, make sure you're having fun. Of course, we don't necessarily always have fun at our jobs, but we enjoy our jobs. And so I think that is like great advice for all ages, very wise from our 15-year-old Gabby.
I can see why she started with an advice show.
That's right. That's why she had started with an advice show.
She has great advice. Wow.
There are adults out there that are buying pets and for their kids, and also like setting goals because of your show that you started.
That's right. Way back when. In Santa Monica, right?
Yes, sir. Santa Monica, 3rd Street Promenade.
Yeah, changing the world in Santa Monica.
That's fantastic.
Yes,
Gabby, thank you so much for just coming on the show today. We have enjoyed every minute of you. We loved getting to know you at camp. We are so glad you're in our group. You're just a little light bulb that just shines wherever you go. And
yeah, you're delightful. We really love having you.
Yes, we love being around you at camp, and you're just one of the kids, and I thought you slid in great with all the people, and I'm glad you've made community there. That makes my heart happy. So we really appreciate you. And we wish you the best of luck on that feature film and a reoccurring role. Like, we're going to go back and have to,
Yeah,
I mean, you for sure
watch Chicken Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so behind, but you have a lot to catch up on. You'll get there, honey.
I'm going to get there.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. This was so much fun. I loved getting to meet y'all at camp. Like, I had such a blast with y'all, and this is great. I loved getting to talk with y'all. Y'all are so much fun and so sweet and just super creative people, and I love being around y'all. So y'all made my time at camp so much fun, and you made me feel like I fit right in. So
yes, you did fit right in. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Love you, Gabby.
We'll see you.
I told you.
What'd you tell me?
She is so delightful.
Oh, yes,
and
she is.
So genuine, and you are going to want to have all your kids follow all her stuff, and honestly, adults too.
That's right. As soon as we get done here, I'm going to watch Chicken Squad.
You're going to set some short-term goals and some
These are my
goals.
short-term goals. I'm watching Chicken Squad. I'm watching that episode of Agent Carter again.
Yes,
because now I know who she
want
is.
to do that. Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot to do.
You have a lot to do.
I know. And
I
then
do
I'll
too.
report back.
She's adorable.
I know.
All
I
right.
can't wait to see what the future holds for her.
I know. It's so exciting. All of her hashtags for her shows are going to be in the show notes. Also, like and subscribe to our podcast if you haven't already, and share this podcast if you love her and us. Party at 5.5. Over and out.
We'll see you next time.